What was I gonna say? I wish I could know some of the, like, points of psychology that kind of, talk about deeper things. Like, you may have seen that one post that says, I'm sorry I talk a lot about posts, but, you know, when your life is just Facebook and pictures on there, it's like, that's the only connection I have with the outside world. I am sorry that I'm such a loser. The one that talks about, like, the kinds of food that you like and what it means about your emotional state and stuff. Like, I don't know. Sweet is the sweet, and I think it was like, it was crackers and something else. Those are the only two that I remember that they said stuff about.
I'll do anything. Just help me out here.
Okay. But that kind of thing, I mean, like, you know, I'm sorry. I'm like trying not to fall asleep while playing this as well. But there are a lot of things, you know, that you do without even realizing it that, like, spell out who you are as a person and stuff, and they don't have to do with anything like astrology. You know, like, you don't need to read your horoscope to tell you what kind of person you are. You know, you don't need to be like, oh my god, I am so a Gemini. You don't need to, you know, live by that. It's like, if it's a coincidence, it's a coincidence, but, you know. Okay. You don't have to let words like that rule your life. You don't have to worry about not reading it and stuff. It's like, yeah. Because that doesn't even, you know, it's not based on personality. It's based on what month you were born in. And I know a lot of ancient civilizations held a lot of importance on the stars and the position of the stars, but a lot of that was for, like, record keeping and timekeeping and stuff, like when to plant your garden, you know, when to plant specific vegetables and stuff, because it told you what time of the year it was. Other parts of it were like religious stuff, you know, like how the constellations told stories or whatever, like that kind of thing. So I can't imagine how stars from a certain time of the year, and this is I'm guessing only for like certain parts of the globe even, because I don't know that you can see all the same constellations you can in winter as you can in summer. I'm not sure. But, like, they don't tell you who you are, you know? If you decide that, yep, they got me on point, they know me better than anyone else, then, alright. But, you know, it doesn't, like, humans don't work that way. Like, you can be influenced by a lot of external things like that. Like the time that, you know, you were born. Like, you wouldn't be the same if you were born in the 80s as you would be if you were born in the 2000s. You just, like, wouldn't. But just a month in the year cannot, like, it can't be that influential on your personality. And it doesn't, like, take into consideration any, like genetics, you know? It's like if your mother has this temperament and your father has this temperament, then you're likely to have this temperament, you know? You know, even without knowing them, your parents rub off on you. That's why, like, dog breeders breed specific dogs. Like, they'll breed this dog because she's nice, and this dog because he's strong, or something like that, you know?
Nice work, yellow guy.
So their puppies would be more likely to come out nice and strong, you know? And that's how they do with, well, I guess not for temperament reasons, but for, you know, quality reasons and stuff for cows and chickens and other raised animals like that. Which, by the way, if you're like a vegetarian or vegan or something like that, that's really like against farm raising animals and stuff. Ooh.
Nice work, yellow guy.
You have to consider that the animals that you're talking about wouldn't be alive if there was no farming. You know? Like, cows are domesticated, and I understand that they're wild cattle, but they wouldn't be bred quite the same way. They would probably be on the same kind of register that, you know, like, other bovids are, like buffalo and stuff, you know? And they have buffalo farms too. I'm not saying that they don't, but like, how buffalo and bison were hunted a lot. You know, the same thing would have happened with cows if we hadn't domesticated them and, you know, made farms for them and everything. So you have to, you know, when you're in that mindset, you have to consider a couple of other viewpoints of it. And that's important for any argument, but I was gonna say, I was all like, have I been here before?
Listen, you don't invite me. Oh, you do you?
What, how did I get there? Oh, temperament. Yeah. You're not, like, your destiny isn't written out in the stars. You know? The universe has plans for you. And I don't mean, like, spiritually or anything like that. No, it literally has plans for you. The past has written out your future, and your future has written out your present. Like, certain things need to happen in the universe to keep everything spinning. Like, if you've seen that one episode of Futurama where Fry stops himself from being frozen, and you know, the space-time continuum rips a hole in itself or whatever. I don't think that something that dramatic can actually happen, but it does, you know, gloss over that time is part of your universe.
Never mind. I'll have her down in a jiffy. Unless she's guarded, of course. Then it'd take longer.
I just read what he was saying, and sorry.
Can't see any good coming of this.
So basically, how the universe like stopped working because Fry didn't go to the year 3000. You know, it just tells you that certain things need to happen in the universe for it to keep working. And I know there are multiverse theories, and people like to think about the ones like, what if, you know, the Holocaust didn't happen, or, you know, this war didn't happen, or that war didn't happen. I don't know that it would take such significant events to have a change in the universe, you know? Every single second you do something creates a whole different timeline of events. And maybe for those universes, it would need those events to happen, but... What?
Up here on the roof! I'm stuck!
Yeah, you know what else is on the roof? This stupid squishy right here.
Good thing I've got such big pockets.
Oh.
Oh, thank you. Perhaps I can help you out.
How do you do that? So you can't, like... Oh.
Here you go, big guy. I brought back your wife. Be careful what you wish for. Now, can you help me with my aeroplane or not?
Take my wife. Please. No, seriously, you can take her.
Don't you want her to stay here?
No, it turns out she's not as pretty as I thought. But she's always been a fine companion and would make a fine addition to a building project. Failing that, there's the old junk pile. You're sure to find something in that lucky dip.
This is hard
Now we're talking.
to concentrate with, because it's you have to rotate both sticks at the same time.